Okay, to save time in the video, I've gone ahead and traced my pattern, the same exact pattern I used before for the Journey Girls, onto freezer paper. And what I did is I folded my piece in half so that I will have an exact mirror image to the other side. And then when I cut this center down the center, I'll have the front, I'll have the left side and the right side of the back piece. Okay, so let me explain what I want to do with this. This is the Kaylee, Our Generation doll. I want to raise this neckline here. I want to get it higher so that I can hide some of this fabric on her neckline. Another thing I want to do is I want to bring these sleeves out a little bit further so you don't see her skin on the armholes. Now it fits pretty good, but I just want to bring this over a little bit, and then on the back it fits pretty good, but I'm thinking I might bring this neck down just a little bit, this neckline down just a little bit, and we're going to put a zipper in the back. We're not going to do a lap zipper, we're just going to put a zipper dead center right down the middle. Now that's for the Our Generation dolls from Target. Now same thing with My Life. This is with the knit fabric, but still she's got the hard upper body, but you still see too much of her arm here. So what I want to do is to bring that over on her. Same thing here, the armhole is big enough, it just needs to be brought down a little bit. So we can accomplish that by bringing in the armholes a little bit and then raising up the neckline. So let's get started on adjusting the pattern. So first thing I want to do is I want to change the neckline. So this is the front piece and this is the fold of the fabric. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm going to change the neckline. So I'm going to bring it up to about like this. So we're going to still have our seam here, so think about where your seam's going to be, and then from that point forward you can just bring up the neckline. So that should bring it up. What are we looking at? We're looking at 3/4 of an inch. So if we bring her back and I say, do I want 3/4 of an inch more on there? That might be a little too much, so I might want to go ahead and bring it down just a wee bit. So let's just adjust that back down. I think I kind of like that because that's with your, that's going to fall perfect with your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so now I've just raised up the neckline. So what I want to do now is I want to think about my seam here and my seam here, and I want to bring in this armhole. So I'm just going to change the curvature of the armhole. So I'm going to come down and I am going to bring that out. Okay, so now I've lost that space for the armhole, so I may want to consider bringing this out just a wee bit as an adjustment so that the armhole is not going to be too tight for her. So I may consider bringing out this here a little bit so that covers it up, but she has more of a way to stretch. So you see how that, I just came in on that, and that's going to be the neckline. So we can test it. So let's keep our pins in and let's cut our pattern out. You might want to use different color pens and pencils while you're doing this too, so you know what your new line is going to be. Okay, I forgot I want to add some width to I want to add some length to it, so I'm going to go ahead and add to the bottom of this, I'm going to add at least 1 inch because I want this, I'm going to go 1 inch on the seam line. So let's go ahead and just measure 1 inch all the way across the bottom here. Let me make sure I'm on camera. Put 1 inch in the bottom. You know, if you really, if you're just new at making patterns and you're not sure if you're going to like it or not, do it in cheap fabric that you don't care about, and then test your pattern, and then it's not like you're going to be wasting anything. Okay, so let's just swing this over, and now we've got an inch longer dress. Okay, so there's our first front pattern test. And let's take the clothes off of. Now you got to realize you're going to have a 1/4 inch seam all the way. You're going to have a 1/4 inch seam on the neckline, the shoulder seams, and the armholes. Okay, so let's just go ahead and put this up to her and see how we think it's going to look. So if we add our 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch on the sleeves, 1/4 inch under here, it'll still fit nice. And I think it'll still cover up those arms. I'm not in the center here. I think that will be, I think it'll be close. Maybe we should have even gone in a little bit more. But we'll go ahead and test this pattern, and then if we don't like it when we make it, then we will adjust the armholes even more. But I think it's going to be just fine. I think it is. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so now for the back. The back fit pretty good on both of the dolls. So the only thing that I wanted to do on the back was to add the hem. So let's go ahead and add the inch on the hem. So we're going to go down here and add an inch. Oops, I didn't do that right. Can you see that? Okay, so let's put in an inch here, an inch here. Okay, so let's see where that inch is. Here. Okay, so then we've added an inch to the hem here. Let's erase that mark we made. Okay, so now I'm going to lower this down a little bit because it just went a little too high on the doll. So we're going to just come down about that much. And we may want to check our pattern now because these are your seams. So you want to make sure that your side seams are going to match up. Okay, and then you're going to want to match up your shoulder seams. Make sure those match up. And there's a little, this is going to be this way so you can see right through the paper, so that matches up. So your pattern's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a little bit extra here on the back too, because I think that, well, I think that little extra, if I add that little extra under the seam here, I think it'll hang much nicer also. So let's just go ahead and add that little bit extra on the seam in the back, and I think we'll get a nicer fit. So let's just go ahead and do that. And that will come down here. Okay, so that's basically, this is going to be our new tunic, and this is going to be our test pattern. Okay, so when I come out, I'll come back, we'll cut this out, and we will sew it together and see how we did on our adjustments. Okay, I'll be back.